Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Tyler Perry's Sistas. So the episode started out where it left off last time, where Danny was in her apartment and an old boy who was at the airport trafficking somebody then rolled up. This whole situation was ignorant. I'm just like, who wrote this? This don't make no sense. But go off though. I'm just gonna go over it. So he done rolled up. He trying to tell her that he's undercover. He an undercover cop or whatever, and that the girl that he had in his possession, if you will, was somebody who they were getting back to her parents, and she ain't buying it. And he trying to show her a badge. All of this, and she just like, yeah, I got friends that can make stuff like that. They look like something from the dollar store and all this other stuff. He was like, no, this is real. So she kind of trying to finally believe him, and he was just like, look, I just wanted to tell you thank you for what you did, but I'm gonna need for you not to do that no more because this is an undercover sting operation that I have going on. And didn't you find it strange that the airport police didn't try to chase me down and all that when you announced all of this? And so she was like, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know, but you sure look like you was doing some sex trafficking, drug trafficking or something. You was trafficking these young girls. And so he was like, look, that's not the situation. I'm just trying to get you to understand that this is an undercover situation, but if you do this again, it might blow my cover. I just don't want you to blow my cover. Like, I really am dedicated to this, whatever, whatever. And I'm just saying to myself, but why did you have to force yourself into her apartment, though? You could have knocked on the door if she slammed the door in your face and all of that after you tried to ask her nicely, let me talk to you for a minute. I'll keep my distance. I'll keep my hands up where you can see him, whatever, so you don't feel threatened. If you had to come to her house to do it, why didn't you just pull her to the side while she was at work where nobody was around and tell her what the situation was, just like you just did now? And what I found to be stupid of Danny was to now, after El Fuego to left and this situation to pop off, you hop, skipped, and jumped to the door to lock it. Didn't I tell y'all on the last episode that I was just like, I don't understand why you ain't get up and lock the door off rip? Now, she did go to the door and, whatever. She had to open the door, but I'm just like, I don't understand people who don't do that. I don't play none of that. If you leaving me, I be sending off at other people's houses. I come in and lock the door. I'm like, let me learn how to lock it because I'm gonna come straight in and lock it straight behind me. I ain't got time for nobody to bum rush. I don't have time. But anyway, yeah, it is what it is, and she was about to kill him or try to. So anyway, we see Andy on the phone, and she's talking to Sabrina, and she's gonna have to try to get all the girls together because Karen wants to meet up with everybody. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows this heifer pregnant, and she has to try to talk to Sabrina so that Sabrina can invite can invite Danny, because Danny and Karen ain't on the best of terms right now, and if Andy do it, she gonna be mad at her. It's just too much stuff going on. So anyway, it is what it is. So Maurice came in the break room, which is where Sabrina was, and he is still mad with her. And she always says, well, how did everything go? He was looking at this heifer like, girl, bye, leave me alone. Basically cussed her out and walked out the room. I'm like, child, I don't blame you. Because it's like, you know what he like. Why are you doing this? So anyway, after he left out, she ended up calling Danny and telling Danny that we need to link up or whatever. And Danny told her that she almost died and all of that. And so, explain the situation, but it's still kind of hard for her to believe, but it is what it is. But it's like, you did all that to tell this heifer thank you. You could have did it at her job. Like, why did you bum rush? Like, he basically bum rushed him into her house, into her apartment. What was the reason? That don't make no sense. The writing was just off with that. Like, why? Why? And then, like, what if she had a gun? What if she had a gun? She would have shot him up. She wanted them, I feel like she wanted them shoot first, ask questions later people, and I'm here for it in a lot of cases, so I get that. But anyway, Danny basically cussed her out and said, I don't care what you say, I'm not coming to link up with y'all. I don't care nothing about Karen. Karen is trash, whatever. So then we see Karen at her shop. She walk in and Pam's standing there and she's doing a bad job of basically saying that that woman is back who wants to know about Zach and all this other stuff. And so she asked her what she wants. She was like, look, I'm not a cop. I ain't none of that. I just need you to give something to Zach. And so they ain't here for it. And she was like, look, just don't come back here no more. I don't know where he at. I don't talk to him, whatever. So Pam was setting it off, was like, why is she still standing here? Because that woman just really stood there. Like, she didn't understand that. She was like, okay, whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't deal with that. You can leave and not come back no more. So then Pam was like, I'm finna take this heifer's tag number down. I got a boo that work in the law enforcement field. And we're going to get down to the bottom of this because I want to know who this heifer is. And so this was the one time that Karen was here for it. So she was like, okay, do what you got to do. So she asked her, she was like, okay, so anyway, heifer, you need something to eat. You want something to eat? And so this was the one time she was like, yeah, I am kind of hungry. So she was like, okay then. So she went out to go get this heifer something to eat. Karen has some taxes and stuff that she got to get done for the shop. So that's what she's going to be busy doing all day. Meanwhile, at the bank, Maurice's phone is just blowing up. It's on vibrate, but it's blowing up. Child, Sabrina was behind him and kept turning around. She was like, Maurice, your phone is ringing. And he was like, okay, I know. Child, this heifer talking about, I see it's from this correctional facility. He was like, it's funny that you can see that, but you can't see this suspect man, Calvin, that you trying to deal with. I was like, oh God, wait a minute. He was reading this heifer for filth. I was like, dog. I was like, oh my God, I was done. I could not breathe. I was really up here screaming. He read that heifer for filth. So anyway, he finally answered the phone and he was like, I've been trying to call you. He was like, stop calling me. I don't care. He was like, well, I just want to know what you thought about it. I'm like, leave him alone. But I feel like he's still going to somehow be like, well, let me do it. Let me go ahead and let him stay a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Child, he really over here playing up the sex. He was like, you are not the best that ever was, sir. I've had better. Child, he was acting sprung over it though, so I get why he's saying that, but it is what it is. So anyway, Fatima, y'all, this is the part that had me literally screaming. I was just like, I'm sorry to my neighbors if I'm disturbing them, but I could not help it. The cackle had to come out. I was dying. So she is in the garage at work talking to Andy. And so they talking. All of a sudden, Hayden, come around the corner on crutches. Yeah. He barely can get through. Fatima laughing so terrible in his face. And so he was like, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Fatima is like dying laughing at him. I was like, ma'am, why are you doing this? And even Andy was trying to make the help stop. She was like, I can't. It's so funny. Then Andy even started laughing a little bit. So he go tip over a little bit, come over there where they at, and was like trying to make it seem like he gonna do something to her. Cause she was like, yeah, you see this bruise on my face? I was like, child, like he really was trying to threaten her like, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. I told y'all, didn't I tell y'all? Hayden one of them people you gotta kill to stop him. I'm sorry. Some people learn by near-death experiences or flat out dying. He's one of those who gotta die to learn. Cause it's like, you got beat within an inch of your life. You almost died and you still trying to do the most. I don't understand. You don't learn. You don't learn. But anyway, she snuck in the fact that, don't make me have to release those naked pictures of you on the hood of the car. And so he was like, what? What did you say? He went on ahead and hobbled on down the road, but not before knocking off one of those little pads that, go up under your arm that's on the cane. I call it cane, y'all. What is the thing called? Y'all know them things. I don't know why I can't think of it. Anyway, they made a point to zoom in on that after the situation was over with. Now, look, I don't know if any of y'all ever paid attention. they might be padded or whatever. They ain't comfortable, because most people that I've ever seen, crutches, that's what I want to say. A lot of people who have crutches, they have towels and other stuff added onto it because it's still not comfortable. It's still not comfortable. It was petty. Production was petty for doing that. And then, like, look, then I don't know if there's an elevator that we ain't seeing, but they made a point to still show him off in the distance, and the ladies walking over behind him to all these steps. I said, okay, I know it's an elevator somewhere. Don't play like it's just steps in here. Don't do this. So I was dying laughing at that. So anyway, moving right along. Danny at work, and Logan, that's the man's name, who the undercover agent, the undercover police officer, he done rolled up on her. And so she looking at him like, and why are you here? Like, and he was just like, I appreciate you. Let's just play along or whatever, you know. And she was like, okay, whatever. And like, she really trying to play him to the left. And he was like, you know, I really do like you. I really do think you're a beautiful woman. All this stuff. Like, he really setting it off. And she is not interested, at least in this moment. And he was like, well, at least me doing this, you know, me flirting with you, you know, I could do this. I'm going to be over here talking to you and all this other stuff. And, you know, I guess he thinks it's going to throw people off the center, his trail. Whatever. So anyway, he over here asking her out to dinner. She like, no, thank you. And he was like, dang, you just gonna keep shooting me down like that? So then he was like, you know, I really do appreciate what you did, because we need more people like you. And so she said that she would be honored to go and see the place where the girls are being held until they can be reunited with their families or whatever. Because like she seems to be very passionate about it, despite her humorous nature about a lot of stuff. But like that really hit home for her. And so he was like, okay, so maybe, you know, I can take you out to dinner and we could discuss it. And so she was like, you know what? Okay, whatever, fine. So he was like, yes, that's a win for me. And so she's just not here for it. She is just not here for him. He was like, okay, well, here's my number. You can call me, and gave her the card and everything. Child, please. So anyway, earlier, Sabrina wanted to know if everything was okay with Calvin, and did he say anything when he came in the night that, you know, all that stuff went down, because it was the most went down. He over here fighting, embarrassing her, all of this. And so he was like, no, why don't you tell me? You might well go ahead and tell me now. You ain't gonna do nothing but wait 10 minutes because you know you can't hold water. I was like, sir. So anyway, she in her office. Then all of a sudden Calvin appears. And I'm like, why don't you go somewhere else? This relationship is not meant to be. Please stop. Hang it up flat screen, baby. It is some foolishness. Like, look at that. Did y'all see the outfit he walked in there with on, what he had on? Child, please. Like, It just be like everybody look at you and be like, oh, he gay. Like that man didn't know you from a can of paint. He just thought you was gay. Like my thing is, it's like part of me is like, I get where you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but he just be doing the absolute least to kind of help remedy the situation a little bit. That's why don't nobody consider you to have any masculinity going on really like that. Child, I can't. So anyway, they talking. To make a long story short, this heifer Sabrina that sat up here and conjured up a scenario in her mind that will make her sleep better at night, which is that the fight popped off because he wanted to prove that he's a protector. He was like, no, that ain't what it was. Had you been there or not, I was still going to have the same reaction. He tried to play me to the left while I was sitting there at the table. So this heifer gonna ignore all of this and in her feelings because she thought that it was over her, you know, because she wants it to be all about her. I mean, it is what it is, do what you do. But I was just like, girl. So he was like, look, I love you. You know, I did all of these things because I love you. And I'm like, I cannot. And this heifer was like, yeah, I know. So he was like, okay, so let me make it up to you. We can go back to that restaurant. She was like, no. You pick the place, any other place that's not there. So he was like, well, but she just made a point to be like, I'll drive because you won't be leaving me anywhere else. And that's another thing, heifer. This man left you at nighttime by yourself. Sofa in Atlanta. Like, girl, bye. I cannot. And you still here for it. And then, okay, so I'm glad I thought about it because I just knew I was going to forget. So there are people who still think that men, women outnumber men or whatever. Whether that's the case or not, I just feel like it's kind of being supplemented by the fact that there are so many gay, lesbian, whatever. So we might actually be neck and neck now. So I feel like that excuse needs to be dismissed. It just is what it is. A lot of people out here in these streets that don't want to be with nobody for various reasons, and it just is what it is. And I get that. So let's just dismiss that. Anyway, so Karen at her shop, and she's manning the front desk while Pam is out running errands and getting food for them. When, I don't know why we wanted to call that man by his real name, Preston, and the heifer, who is the veterinarian, then rolled up. And so she was just looking like, okay, what are y'all doing here? Especially you, Preston. And she was like, girl, I messed my hair up. Do you see this? Do you see it? Do you see it? And so she over here kind of bragging to myself, oh, he messed it up. Messed my hair up. Girl, he did it. It's like, ma'am. She kind of wrestled with the fact as to whether or not if she was going to do this heifer's hair, but then she was like, yeah, but I need to talk to him for a minute. Let me talk to you for a minute. So she took him to the back to talk to him and was like, look, if you're doing this as a way to get to Danny because you want me to call her and let her know you here, I'm not doing it. So he was like, I'm not doing that. That's not what's going on here. Don't call her, please. And so they had that little conversation. It is what it is. So then she got on the phone to call Zach. So when she called Zach, Fatima answered the phone. I was like, oh my gosh, they must have mixed up phones, and they did. They had the same exact phone, the same pretty much exact case. She picked up his phone by mistake when she left out to go to work. So they trying to figure out who is the other person on the other end of the phone. And I'm like, y'all have very distinctive voices, but go off though. It's the writing again. But so she was like, can you tell Zach to call me back? And so she was like, okay, who is this though? When they found out who the other person was, Fatima over there rolling her eyes. Karen got an attitude. I'm just like, child, get out of here. So anyway, we know Fatima ain't here for it, but it is what it is. So she got on her work phone and called her cell phone that he had in his pocket. He at the house happy that he has a house. Hallelujah, I'd be happy too. But he was just like, oh my gosh, I got a house, whatever. He done went out on the deck or whatever, and then the phone rings. So he answered the phone. She was like, hey, you got my phone. And so he was like, no, I don't. I just answered my phone, so that don't make no sense. So she was like, I picked up your phone by accident. So in his mind, he kind of like, did you though? But it took it, he restrained himself a little bit. Because he was like, why would you do that? It's like he kind of tried to go off a little bit. And I was like, Zach, don't do it. Like don't. So she was like, I'm going to give you the password to mine or whatever. And so she ended up giving the password to her phone. And he ended up, reluctantly a little bit. Because I was shocked. Karen was trying to read and was like, well, Zach don't never go nowhere without his phone. Whatever. And I'm like, oh. She kind of read a little bit back and was like, well, whatever y'all used to do, he don't do a lot of those things. And I was like, oh. So anyway, he ended up giving his password as well. And so she was like, BS. Because he just gave a number. She gave like letters, numbers, and all this other stuff. So she tried the phone and it unlocked. Like she was shocked that he actually gave her the information. And so he was like, don't be going through my phone. She was like, boy, ain't nobody going through your phone. All while happily going through his phone. I was like, girl. Then when she got off the phone with him, she was like, who is Angie? I was like, ma'am. Child, he's so stupid. He done got off the phone with her and then tried to do the password. He was like, she gave me her password. The password was fake. I was like, you so dumb. Why wouldn't you do it while you're on the phone? Because like, what if you need to call somebody outside of 911? You should have made sure it was right. That's stupid. But anyway, that's him being stupid. That's his fault. So it is what it is. But she going through that phone, something terrible. So Sabrina and Maurice are at work. The last customer that left out, and they locking the doors. Maurice's friend, that guy who was the bartender at that club that they go to all the time. I don't know why I can't think of the name of the club. But he came, he over trying to get money out. And I'm saying to myself, are you trying to get over the daily amount that they allow you to get out? Because I'm pretty sure there is an ATM outside. I'm confused. So he was like, please let me in. Sabrina had to basically tell him to let him in. So he went in his account, got the money. He was like, what you need this for? He was like, I just want to party. I want to have a good time. He was like, oh, so for drugs. Oh, okay. Went in this man's account. The man had like $400 in the account. He tried to put him on blast. And as he leaving out, Sabrina trying to tell him, you can't do that. You know, that's confidential and all this other stuff. And, you know, I heard you earlier. And I'm like, child, y'all is doing a lot. But thank you. I don't know. They was doing a lot. Yeah, they was doing a lot. So anyway, meanwhile, at Karen's salon, Aaron showed up with food. And so Pam off rip was like, excuse me, somebody better be getting the reimbursing me because no. He brought a big bag of food and they talking. And he was like, let me rub your feet. Let me go in your office and rub your feet. So they go to the back. And so she was like, do you have a foot fetish or something? Because this is like the third time that you done rubbed my feet. And he was like, no, I just want to do this for you, whatever. Y'all, I need to look real close at this male hairdresser because I'm trying to figure out if it's CJ, the trainer. Look him up on Instagram. That might not be him, but he I don't know, they be looking so fast. I think it's somebody else, though. He was looking like CJ the trainer at times to me. And CJ the trainer is everything to me. But anyway, I don't think it's him. But yeah, they went in the back. He started massaging her feet. And they talking. And the heifer actually finally says that she's pregnant. And I'm like, okay, I don't know where it left off at, but I got tried. So anyway, Aaron and Karen went to the back office. And he rubbing her feet and they talking. Then the heifer finally says that she's pregnant. And I'm like, finally? I don't even understand. Like, you found out in 0.2 seconds that you was pregnant. And you told Zach the next second. He is known for quite some time. But now you finally tell him. And it's like, girl, you done did the most. Then she gonna sit up here and like the next episode. I already knew. And I don't blame him for feeling the way he feel because it's like you automatically thinking it's his. Girl, bye. I hope it's Aaron's if she even is pregnant and stay pregnant like that. Y'all, but anyway, that was the episode. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not done so. And hit the notification bell so that you can stay notified of when I upload stuff. But anyway, let's get down in the comment section and discuss this foolishness because it's out of control. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later on. I think I have one more upload in me. We'll see. But anyway, bye.